नमस्ते दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपका गवर्नमेंट दृश पर जो है आपके सर्विस में फॉर ऑल द कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम नोट्स विच इज़ रिलेटेड टू ancient history, that is general knowledge for now, because in this series we have started the Lucent general knowledge series and we are now studying up the ancient India's part 16 of the series. And in this series you will be getting all detailed information regarding each and every topics which will be covered. We have already covered the Vijayanagara Dynasty, the Indus Valley Civilization, Harappan Civilization, Mongolian invasion, and many more in our previous parts. You have to go through that if you want to grab more knowledge. And so let's get started today with the Aravidu Dynasty. And do not forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel as well. Aravidu Dynasty, it had started from the year 1570 to 1650 AD, and first जो थे वो थे Tirumala Raya, and he was the brother of Rama Raja who had ruled in the name of the Sadasiva Raya. Now when he couldn't repopulate the Vijayanagar, what he did, he had shifted his capital from where? From Vijayanagar to Penukonda, and there he had divided his empire into three practically linguistic sections, on the basis of language. Linguistic means on the basis of language. Now what happened then after the shift of the capital? The empire slowly shrunk, means it had lost its good provisions or how wealthy it was starting to lose that, and then it had ended when? In 1646. Now the administration. Nayankar system, this was a special feature of provisional administration, and this Iyengar system, this was one of the special feature of village administration, and it has a body of 12 functionaries which were known as Iyengars, and they used to do what? They used to conduct village affairs, and they were the ones who were also granted tax-free lands, that were manyams, and this they could enjoy very perpetuity. Now this was the administrative unit, and this is important, please. Whatever I'm marking or whatever is highlighted in this text of this Lucent book, you have to grab your attention towards that, and please make a note of all the things which have been highlighted and frame questions out of it. Then in this administrative unit we have Mandalam, that was also known as province. Then we have Nadu, that is district. Then we have Gram, that is village. Now this Mandalam, that was called province, they had one head, that was Mandaleshwar. Then Nadu, that was district, they also had one head, that was Nadu Prabhu. And then Gram, they had a head, that was Gora. Okay, these are the tax-free lines. Now this Vijayanagar rulers, what they did, they issued gold coins. Now what were these gold coins called? They were called varahas or pagodas. Okay, and this peta, that was half a varaha. Okay, half of a varaha was called a peta. Then panam, it was 1/10 of peta. Okay, like 1/10 of peta was panam. Now these were mixed with alloy. Okay, these all were of gold and they were a mixture with alloy. The star was also a silver coin. Then we had a jittal, that was a copper coin. Then society. Now in society, it was the only empire in medieval India which employed women in the state services. Okay, so if they ask which was the first empire in medieval India that used to also employ women in the state services, it was this empire, Aravidu Dynasty. And even women went to battles, even the soldiers were accompanied with the women also. Women soldiers were there, and it was also the state which had promoted widow remarriage. This was the time when the position of the women in the society were at its peak. Women had improved their status during this time. Okay, so this Virpuru, that was Brahmin. Rajulu were known as Kshatriyas. Then Nalavajativaru were known as Shudras. Then we have Vipraminodins, they were artisans. The Kaikolas, they were weavers. Then we have Sahagaman, that was Sati. And Besabhaga was forced labor. Please go through this. Now architecture. This was what Vijayanagar rules, what they did, they produced a new style of architecture that was called as Provida style. Okay, and there were large number and prominent pillars, and there was these were some of the distinct features that you can say. Then horse was one of the most common animal on these pillars. Another important features were the mandapa, and it was also known as the open pavilion, and there was a raised platform, and this raised platform was meant for seating deities, okay, and Aman shrine. There were important temples where Vithala Swami, then Hazara Rama temple that was at Hampi, then you have Tadapatri, Parvati temple that was at Chidambaram, then we have Varadraja and Ekam Pandar temple which was at Kanchipuram. So these were all the different temples. Okay, under the architecture section, temples are here, so you have to make note of this Proveeda style. Okay, in during the Vijayanagara rulers, what were the style of architecture that they used to produce or they had produced? It was Proveeda style. Now, Vijayanagara rulers, they also started the practice of inscribing the stories of the Ramayana and the Mahabharata on the walls of various temples. Okay, so the rulers, they used to inscribe, like they had different pillars or even walls of the temples where they used to inscribe, write all the stories. And some of the examples of that where this Ramayana and Mahabharata are written on the walls are Vithal Swami and Hazara Rama temple. Okay, now let's know about the Bahmani kingdom, who was the first ruler with whom the foundation of the Bahmani ruler had started. It was Alauddin Hassan Bahman Shah, and his reign was 1347 to 1358. And what he was also known as Hassan Gangu. And what he had founded the Bahmani kingdom with its capital at Gulbarga. That was its first capital of the Bahmani kingdom. Then Tajuddin Firoz Shah, that was 1397 to 1422. This was the greatest among them, and it was also determined to make Deccan the cultural center in India. So they were made the cultural center. And he also inducted large number of Hindus in administration that on a large scale. He had also paid attention to the ports of his kingdom, that was Chaul and Dabhol. Now what they did, they had attracted trade ships from Persian Gulf and then Red Sea. Okay. Now let's do the breakup of this Bahmani Empire into maximum 5 kingdoms is given. Their name kingdoms are given, year are given, founder, dynasty, and annexation. Annexation is who annexed them. So first we have Berar, and the year was 1484, and it was founded as Fatullah Imad Shah, 1574, Ahmednagar. In that same we have Bijapur kingdom, Ahmednagar kingdom, Golconda, Bidar. Their years, their founders are given. Please make a note of all of that. Now, Ibrahim Adil Shah, what he was one of the greatest ruler of this Adil Shah dynasty, and he had also introduced Dakhini in place of Persian as court language. Now, Gol Gumbaj was built by Muhammad Adil Shah, and it was famous for the Whispering Gallery. Okay, it was called the Whispering Gallery, and it was built by whom? A question may arise. Then we have Quli Qutub Shah, who had built the famous Golconda fort. Then we have Muhammad Quli Qutub Shah, who was one of the greatest ruler of Qutub Shah dynasty, and he was the one who had founded the city of Hyderabad, originally known as Vijayanagara. Sultan's favorite Bhagyamati, and he also built the famous Char Minar. Okay, so first, earlier Hyderabad was known as Bhagyanagar. Okay, it was the one like Muhammad Qutub. So this was the famous Charminar that he had built. Now let's know about the other provincial kingdoms that existed. So here is the kingdoms, their capitals name, and as well as the founders name. So we have Jaunpur, that was Sharqi, then Malwa, then Gujarat, Bengal, and Khandesh. And this were some of the capitals that we can see here. That was Jaunpur, Dharmandur, then was Ahmedabad, Lucknow, Pandua, Ekatala, and these are the founders name. Make a note of everything that has been marked, because according to the kingdoms, capitals, the founders name can be asked, as well as per the kingdom, the capital's name can be asked, that during this provincial period of what were the capitals of these kingdoms. It can come in that way as well. So this was all about the Aravidu dynasty that had existed during this time period. So go through all of that, make notes out of it, frame questions. If you have any doubt or any query, then you can comment down as we'll be help you out. And watch our videos on a regular basis as we'll be trying to bring out all the essential important notes to you, and all this text that has been given, this is given to you from a particular book, that is Lucent series. You can check that out. So meet you in our next series. Stay tuned and keep liking and sharing our videos.